So the big idea on these questions is that you've got to figure out the four basic properties of the graph so that we can get them into this basic equation, B, and then it's either going to be sine or cosine. I'm just going to put sine for now, but we might switch it. A x minus h plus k. So I would just start out plotting some points out on here. They gave us two different positions that it's at the maximum distance away, 7.4 billion kilometers, and the minimum distance is 4.4. This is the last time it was at its minimum, and then this is the last time, or the next time it's at its minimum. All right, so I'm going to put a couple lines on here real quick, and this is going to be the minimum, 4.4 million, and then up here we've got the maximum that it's going to reach, 7.4 billion. And so we go 4.4 up to 7.4, and they gave us two times. So here's the first time they gave us, which is 1989. This is years after 200 or 2000, so that's actually negative 11. That's before 2000. 0 is going to be like right after that, and then the next time that it hits its perihelion, the minimum distance, it's 2237. So I'm just going to squish this down here. So the next time it's down here, it's 2237. So halfway between, we know it's going to be at its maximum. That's what a sine graph will do. And then I'm going to draw a third line in here, which is going to be halfway between. That's going to be our midline. It's supposed to be halfway between anyway. So a quarter of the way across, it's going to be at that midline. We might have to figure that out. And actually, I'll just go through and label all these points on the x-axis. So the graph does something like this. And this point right here is going to be pretty important to know if we want to talk about this as a sine function, because that looks like a sine graph. And then this is just going to keep on going. So we're going to stick with sine here, and we're going to focus on this point. So our midline here, this is a distance of what, 3? So 1.5 up. So 4.4 plus 1.5 is 5.9. So there's your midline. And so we can start putting some things in over here. I know that's plus 5.9 now on the end. My amplitude, I can start seeing my amplitude is here. It's from the midline up. That's 1.5. So y equals 1.5 sine. And then now we need this junk here. So we need to figure out the period, and then we need to figure out what 1/4 of a period is, because that's this distance. So your period here is just to subtract. It's 2237 minus negative 11 or plus 11. It's this distance right there. I'm going to go minimum to minimum. So 2237 plus 11. So 2248. And then this a value right here comes off of this. So a is 2 pi over the period. We usually write that as the period is 2 pi over a, but we can just trade those. The a can come up and the p can go down in the denominator. So out here we've got 2 pi over 2248, which is kind of a yuck. And then x minus, I don't know if I left enough room there. Yeah, I probably did. So this would be where a sine graph starts. You know, a sine graph starts at the middle and goes up. So, you know, what is this guy right here? And that's just 1/4 of a period. So 2248 divided by 4. 2248 divided by 4 is 562. So negative 11 plus 562. So 562 minus 11 is 551 here. And that should be our guy. That goes right in here. So there's your equation. It's a mess. Boy, it's going to feel awkward typing that all in. And then the second question is, how far will Pluto be in 2022? So that's just putting in x equals 22 into your equation. Make sure your calculator's in radians, and you should be good to go.